December 13th, 2025, Buddha Dhamma, Appendix, Chapter 7.12, the link between the fourfolding self-mastery, bhāvita, and the four kinds of development, bhāvanā. So the link between bhāvita, the fourfold self-mastery, and then bhāvanā, the four kinds of development. Appendix 2. Page 799. In the Pali Canon, the Tipitaka, although there are many passages in which Gautama Buddha mentions the groups of the four aspects of Arihat's complete development, he or she has gained self-mastery in body, bhāvita kaya, mastery in virtue, bhāvita sila, mastery in mind, bhāvita sita, and mastery in wisdom, bhāvita panya. There is no single passage in these which four factors are defined together. There exist only cases in which one is, or a few of these factors are defined in specific circumstances. For example, for correcting a misunderstanding about one or more of these aspects of development. This may be because at the time Buddha Gautama, the disciples were familiar with these terms. There was thus no need to define them. The passages containing definition tend to be the answer or explanation of Gautama Buddhas gave to non-Buddhas. For example, the wanderers and ascetics of other tradition. Similarly, the four kinds of development, bhāvanā, which lead to self-mastery, bhāvita. So bhāvita is self-mastery. Bhāvanā is the development of it, or the action state, or the verb, are not found together in the Tipitaka unless one counts the Burmese edition, which includes Pita Ko Padesa. This text included the passage by way of the Eightfold Path. One also obtains the four kinds of development: Sila Bhavana, Kaya Bhavana, Sita Bhavana, and Panya Bhavana. By moral development, physical, mental, and by wisdom development. Other passages of the Tipitaka mention at most three kinds of development, following on from the threefold training, Titlakkhana, threefold training, Traisika, Tiso Sika, Titlakkhana is three characteristics. So following on from the threefold training, Tiso Sika, the Sankiti Sutta arranges three kinds of developments as follows. The threefold training entails the training of higher virtue, Ati Sila Sika. The training in the higher mind, Ati Sita Sika. And the training in the higher wisdom, Ati Panya Sika. The three kinds of development entails physical development, mental development, and wisdom development. Note also that the term Sila Bhavana does not appear at all in the Tipitaka, apart from the Burmese tradition, the Burmese edition from the Pita Ko Padesa. The term Sila Bhavana thus only exists inherent in the term bhāvita Sila. In contrast, the commentaries frequently mention all four aspects of self-mastery and all four kinds of development as unified groups and provide a fair number of explanations for these terms. These explanations, however, sometimes conflict with one another. The terms Sita Bhavana and Panya Bhavana tend not to be a problem and are well understood. The confusion and the contradictions tend to arise in regard with the body, the terms Kaya Bhavana and Sila Bhavana. And in extension to the term bhāvita kaya, bhāvita sila. From the Burmese edition, the bhāvita ko patesa seems to give definition variant from other texts of the four kinds of development, bhāvanā. Note of the following passage. In respect to the four kinds of development, by way of right effort, right livelihood, and the body is developed. By way of right speech and right effort, moral conduct is developed. By way of right thought and right concentration, the mind is developed. By way of right view and right mindfulness, wisdom is developed. By way of these four kinds of development, these two factors comes to fulfillment, the mind and wisdom. Let us compare this passage with Nitipakarana, which is also included in the Burmese Tipitaka. Here the four kinds of development, bhāvanā, are not explained, but the fourfold self-mastery, bhāvita, which is inherently connected to the kinds of development, is explained. One will see that here the explanation contradicts that of the bhāvita ko patesa of the three groups, the khanda of body of morality, sila khanda, samadhi khanda, and samatha. So the body of morality and the body of concentration constitute tranquility in meditation or concentration, while the body of wisdom constitute insight meditation. That monk is developed in body, developed in moral conduct, developed in mind, developed in wisdom. When the body is developed, two factors are developed, right action and right effort. When moral conduct is developed, two factors are developed, right speech and right livelihood. When the mind is developed, two factors are developed, right mindfulness and right concentration. When wisdom is developed, two factors are developed, right view and right thought. Note the terms of bhāvanā and bhāvita can also be translated as cultivation, fully cultivated, or training, fully trained. The Tipitaka used the term vātana as synonyms for these terms. For example, bhāvita kayoti vatita kayo and bhāvita siloti vatita silo. Most of the commentary explanation conforms with the Nitipakarana, which seems to be at odds with the bhāvita ko patesa from the Burmese edition. Take, for example, a passage for the commentaries of the Nitipakarana itself. Quote, with the fulfillment of excellent moral conduct, one is developed in body. With the fulfillment of moral conduct, fundamental to the holy life, one is developed in virtue. Moreover, by way of sense restraint, indriya samvara, one is developed in body. The five doors. By way of other forms of moral conduct, one is developed in virtue. The commentaries to the Ankurata Nikaya offers a similar yet distinctive explanation. By way of physical development, kaya bhāvanā, that is, by contemplation of the body, kaya nupassana, one is developed in body, bhāvita kaya. Moreover, by the development of the five doorways, pancha tawara, one is developed in body. The term developed in body refers here to virtues as sense restraint, indriya samvara sila. The term developed in moral conduct, bhāvita sila, refers to the three remaining kinds of virtue. Other commentaries and sub-commentaries contain infrequent explanation of the term bhāvanā and bhāvita. For example, the commentaries to the Samyutta Nikaya states the term bhāvita kaya refers to body endowed with the five doorways. The passage is consistent with the two commentary passages cited above. Furthermore, some commentary and sub-commentary passages emphasize the term bhāvanā, in the context of the 4 kinds of development, does not refer to spiritual practice or currently engaged in, to practice applied in order to reach the goal, but rather to the practice of arihats, which is complete or has already reached the goal. For example, it is the development by the fact of having been developed.